Welcome back, everybody, to episode 25 of CHAS and Friends. And I am joined by Jessi, the bookish mom. All of
Hello.
her links are in the description below so that you can uh, check her out, follow her, and just really excited to have you all here. And I will let Jessi kind of take it away and introduce herself. Tell us about your channel, all that good stuff.
All right. Hey, I'm Jessi, and like you said, my channel is The Bookish Mom. I read mainly fantasy, some sci-fi. I've been trying to get more into sci-fi lately. Kind of going with the YA side of it. I do YA adult, and I just like to read fun stuff with magic and dragons, basically.
Very cool. Very cool. So for sci-fi, um, you tend to like more stuff like there's a series I've been wanting to read, and I can't remember the name of the author right now, but it's a Long Way to a Slow Angry Planet.
I have that, and I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
But I really liked like Sanderson's like Skyward series. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just fun. And The Disasters by M.K. England. It's a
Mm.
standalone and it was just a good time. Like nothing super high stakes, just like a fun space romp.
Okay. The Disasters. All right, I'll have to check that out. Hello, Kay. Glad you're here with us. Thank you. Thank
Ah,
you.
yes.
Yeah, Kay's awesome. Um, yeah, that I'll have to look into that. I'm reading right now. I'm reading through the Expanse. I just finished book three.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So I read book one not
Hmm.
too long ago and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it keeps getting better. It really
Good.
does. And I did it backwards. I watched. Well, I haven't watched season six yet, but
Okay.
I watched the first five seasons of the show before I started the books,
Ah,
and I'm very impressed. The adaptation is quite close.
is it? So I've like stopped myself from watching the show because I'm like, I'm gonna read these books.
Right?
But I
Yeah, and
really want to watch the
that's
show because I
better.
know my husband's not a reader, but he would definitely watch that with me.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good way to rope him in. You know, if you like this, maybe you should read the books.
Right. I always try to get him to read, and he's like, it
Yeah,
sounds fun. Just time. I'm like, oh, I get it.
yeah, yeah. That's true. We understand the time dynamic. We just make the time, right?
Right. He makes the time for other things, his hobbies, like cars and
Oh, there you go.
mostly just cars.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I'm not a car guy, but I appreciate guys that are.
Right.
I would probably save money if I was a car guy.
Right. Not necessarily. You
Well, I
think
wouldn't
you
have to pay
will.
for labor.
True. It
So,
is nice because I'm like, I know nothing. I'm like,
yeah,
it's pretty, or it goes fast. But that's my limited knowledge of.
right. Does it hold on the kids? Check mark, we're
Right.
good. It gets it
Ex-
from A to B.
exactly. That's all that matters. It
Yeah,
drives.
yeah. Yeah, my kids are, well, my son's 19
Oh.
and my daughter is about to turn 18 in a couple of weeks. No,
Ah.
next week.
Oh
Geez.
man.
So my son has his license. My daughter doesn't yet. So
Oh yeah.
we're working on that. But yeah, it's interesting thinking about. Okay, now we got to get them actual vehicles and.
That's I know. I have I'm the youngest and I have, three older sisters down here. At one point all three of them were pregnant at the same time. So I
Oh
have two
man.
nieces and a nephew that are all like turned 18 this year and they're all like graduating from the same high school in at the end of this month or next month.
Yeah.
It's wild seeing them go from like babies to like you're an adult now. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's very surreal. Yeah, I see pictures pop up on Facebook, like those retro things that they.
Yeah,
And you
like the
posted this
yeah.
years and years ago. Would you like to repost it? I'm like, oh man, my kids were so young,
Right? It's like,
and so
"Oh,
was
I
I.
even feel like that." And mine are still, 10 and 6, and I'm like,
Mm.
"You were a baby."
Right? Yeah, you were so cute and adorable. What happened? No, I'm just
Right?
kidding.
What happened? We now have a preteen girl, and I'm like, "Hmm,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like the
crazy.
Hunger Games, which one will survive?"
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, Jenny is joining us. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Yeah.
But it's fun because my daughter, has been getting into rating my middle grade shelf.
Oh, there you
And,
go.
like, reading all the middle grade books that I have, so that's been
Mhm.
really cool to, like, be like, "Oh, no, read this one."
Mhm.
So she
Yeah.
read what was it? Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians. We had to introduce her to
Oh.
Sanderson the easy way.
Yeah, that's good. I have not. I'm familiar with it, but I have not read the series.
Yeah, I haven't read it either, I just
Yeah.
happened to have it. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll get to it," and she's like, "I read it first." Okay. Though
Nice.
she saw my copy of Tress came in,
Mhm.
and she's like, "It's so pretty, can I read it?" I'm like, "This might be above your level." We'll give it a little bit. I don't think you're ready for this.
Yeah.
She's like, "But
Yeah.
it's pretty." I'm like, "Agreed."
Yeah, it is a beautiful book.
It
Mm.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think probably like teenager level for sure. It's
Mhm.
it's probably okay, but yeah, preteen maybe not.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah.
just, like, a pretty fresh 10.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
we're just getting into, like, being at the middle grade reading level,
Yeah.
and, like, with the dyslexia, it was difficult to begin with, so
Oh, yeah, that does make it hard too, for sure. Yeah.
but audiobooks are the key.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
And
actually,
and graphic novels.
graphic novels, yeah, that's another good one. Uh, Kindle actually has a dyslexic font.
I saw that because she has the kids one, and
Okay,
it's
yeah,
really cool because 'cause it'll do it on the kids one too.
yeah, yeah. A friend of mine told me about that not too long ago because she's dyslexic, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know they had that, but that's really cool.
Right? I didn't either until pretty recently, and I was like, "What? That's amazing." So I get all, like,
Hmm.
her books from like, that they read at school,
Uh-huh.
and I'll get it in that, and sometimes I'll get the graphic novel version of
Yeah,
whatever book they're reading because she absorbs that better. So I'm
yeah,
like, "Y'all
right.
you just read it at home, like, you'll do better on the test, it's fine."
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of a weird thing when you're introducing books to your kids and figuring out what's good for their age and what's not because like my kids were reading at a high school level in junior high, so
Yeah.
but books that you might read in high school weren't necessarily appropriate for that
Right?
age, so it's kind of like,
Right? It's like, "What do you do?"
yeah, I mean
That's
some
like
stuff
my
is okay, like
son.
what's that?
That's like my son, he's just in kindergarten now,
Mm-hmm.
but they did, the testing stuff that they do, he's reading at, like, a 2nd, 3rd grade level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is gonna be a problem when you get a little bit older."
Yes, there
Like, a
will be.
good problem, but still like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. My son did pick up the Shannara books,
Ooh.
and I was okay with him reading that
Yeah.
because Terry Brooks is for the most part safe for younger readers, even though
Yeah.
the reading level is higher. But
Mhm.
as far as content, Terry Brooks is a pretty safe bet.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
but then other
Him,
stuff
I
is
think
like, well,
right? It's like Sanderson, I think, would be fine because anything is like, fade to black, and it's not super, like, gory.
yeah.
But, like, certain others, you're like, you are not picking that up off my shelves."
Right, exactly.
Please stay
Yeah.
away from like Song of Ice and Fire, or like we're not ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely not. And luckily, my kids were warned away from A Song of Ice and Fire by the size of the books.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, Dad, it's okay. We don't want to read it anyway because they're 1,000 pages long. And
They are long. I still
yeah,
haven't read all of them.
I've read all of them. Well, I'm halfway through Fire and Blood, but I've read all the
Okay.
core books. And I read The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which I'm super excited. They're making a show out of it
Oh,
because,
are they?
yeah, George R. R. Martin announced that HBO picked up the rights for
Ooh.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms,
He's just
which
gonna
is
like
going to be
own
awesome.
HBO at this point.
Yeah.
Now, if he could just finish the rest of the first series,
I know. I know. Come on, George, get it done.
just do
Yeah. Yeah.
it. Yeah, one day.
Yeah. One day. Yeah.
But I mean, you can't really blame him. He's bringing in those HBO dollars, like,
Oh boy. Yeah. He's a cash cow for them for sure.
right? I'd be like, I would retire on that as well. Like, who needs the rest of this series?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I still think we'll see book 6. I don't know about book 7, but
Mm,
we'll see.
maybe we'll have a Robert Jordan situation, and like he'll have notes on it, and someone will finish it.
Right. Yeah, maybe so. Get our Scott Baker or somebody
Yeah,
to
that
come
would
in on
work.
there. That would. My parents let me read whatever I wanted and told me if I didn't get something or read something scary or gross, then it was my own fault. Oh, oh, reading Jurassic Park at 8.
Oh man,
Wow, that's yeah,
my
I
kids
can
have watched the
imagine.
movie though, so
Yeah, yeah. I had my kids watch the movie too. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the movie. I think the book is like more gory than the movie though.
Okay. I have not read the book at all.
I haven't. I've
But
skimmed it, and it was a
mhm.
long time ago. I actually picked up a copy at the library sale last time I went.
Oh,
I
nice.
was like, yeah, like a quarter. And but I still haven't like actually sat down and read
Wow.
it. Gotta love those library sales. They get me every time. I'm like, I've never heard of this, but it's $1. Like,
Right. The first time I read the first time I read His Dark Materials,
mm,
I got it at the used bookstore, the whole trilogy for $1.
nice.
It was an omnibus edition of all three, and yeah, that was a great price. I'm like, oh,
Right? I love like searching used bookstores, and I
mhm.
just it feels like you're like treasure hunting.
It does, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I like special editions too, but
I do too. I can't I can't deny that.
yeah. Did you go in for the King Killing Queen? Did you hear about that one?
No.
That's the new one by Sean Speakman and Skybound Entertainment. He wrote it as part of and then he wrote a short story as part of an anthology called The King Must Fall by Grimdark Magazine.
Ooh.
And then it there was so much that he could do with it that he turned it into a full novel and released it that way. But the
Ooh.
short story is still in that anthology, I think, but he just
Okay.
expanded it. So
And it's on Kickstarter? Is it
it's
a
on
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter right now. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
That sounds like just the title alone, I'm like, "Hmm."
Have you heard of Sean Speakman?
I haven't. I mean, I've heard the name, but I haven't read anything by him.
So he's the founder of Grim Oak Press. They do a lot of special
Okay.
editions, and he's also the web designer for Terry Brooks and Naomi Novik, I think.
Ooh.
Uh, so, but he's written his own books as well, and he's an excellent writer. I've read almost everything he's written. The only one I haven't read yet is the Tempered Steel of Antiquity Grey.
Ooh.
It's more of a sci-fi novel that
Hmm.
he wrote. That's the only one I haven't read yet. And of course, I haven't read King Killing Queen. So,
I mean, that sounds I pulled up the Kickstarter, I'm like, "This looks awesome."
mm-hmm.
I did buy into the Sword of Kaigen Kickstarter when
Oh,
it was
okay.
out.
What about
I
that
was
one?
like, I couldn't pass it up.
I've been really dragging my heels on the Sword of Kaigen. I've had opportunities to read it as a group read a couple of times. I'm just like, I don't know.
It's one of those where if you get past the beginning, you're gonna love it because it is very info dumpy at the beginning. You're kind of like I was like, what's going on? It was like a whole lot of wall of text info dump, but then you get
Yeah.
past it, and I was hooked, sold, cried. And I have to say, it might be one of my favorites at
Oh,
this point.
well, that's good to know.
It was supposed to cross over, and it kind of does with like another series that she had that was YA. I haven't read that one, but she
Okay.
like stopped doing those books. Like she discontinued doing, I think they were like the Theonite books, but Sword of Kaigen reads as a standalone. And there's like one like small character that kind of hops into there, and you're like, oh, apparently it crosses over.
Right.
So I was kind of
Okay.
sad that to find out that she wasn't going to write anymore in the world. And I was like, well,
Right.
I'm just not going to read those.
That's too bad. All the Kickstarters make me jealous that I don't read
Ah,
physically. Well, there is an ebook tier, Jenny.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, there
Ooh,
is an ebook tier, and I think it'll be available to the mass public like after the Kickstarters over in the book releases. So you'll
probably.
be able to get it on ebook, but
I just bought into a Kickstarter that was for an audio book, but you could like I did the hardback level so I could
uh-huh.
get the hardback. But
Yeah.
what was it called? It was I can't remember. The name is like super long, but it's basically this like 80-year-old woman is the chosen one.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I can't remember what it was called, but it came out just recently or it's coming out. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can find this because it was like indie published
Yeah,
and they were kickstartering for the like to get the audiobook done. I was like, I can get a
right.
signed edition and back the audiobook. I'm down.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good way to for indies to do the audiobook version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it
man,
really
it's
is.
expensive.
Yeah, especially for indie publishers. It's
Hmm.
unfortunate.
It really is because I mean they're paying for it pretty much all themselves.
Mhm. Yeah.
I do love a good self-pub indie pub book though.
Mhm. Oh, I do too. Chosen one taking on a bad guy with a Zimmer frame. Oh, I don't I don't know what a Zimmer frame is. Is that my bad?
I don't either.
Huh. Gonna have to look
Oh, it's
that
a
up.
walker.
Okay, a
It's a
walker.
walker.
Okay.
It's a UK term, I think, right?
Okay. Oh,
I had
that's
to look it
cool.
up. I
Okay.
had to Google it.
Yeah. And that would make sense. Yeah, yeah, Jenny's in Scotland there. So,
Okay, that makes
yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. I'd never heard it called that, but yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, hey, we love our Scots, Jenny. You're
We
all
love
good.
it. I'm gonna find it.
um,
I can't remember what it was called. The Remarkable Retirement of Edna Fisher
oh, I
is what it
remember
was
hearing
called.
about that somewhere. That's
And
yeah, that really sounds interesting.
yeah, it's a what is it? A geriatric armed with nothing but gumption and knitting needles has to stop a sorcerer from wiping out a dragon fighting organization.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
That's
like, I'm
hilarious.
down.
That's great. That sounds like so much fun.
Right. I'm like, I need to see. I never knew that I wanted like grandma fantasy until
Right?
I saw that. And I'm like, give me the old ladies. Give me golden girls with dragons.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, especially Sophia. You know,
Yes.
you know, she would be great in that role. But well, of course, Estelle Getty's no longer with us, I
Oh,
don't think, but
yeah. I
she
think
was
they
great.
all have. I loved that show.
Yeah, I love that show too. And I was so bummed that Betty White didn't make it to her 100th
Oh,
birthday, just a week shy or so. And I'm like,
so
oh,
close.
yeah.
Like there will never be
I thought,
another like Betty.
I know. Yeah, yeah, she's just a species all to herself, right? She was
Right? And there's
great.
a few of like the older women actresses that are like getting up there in age, and like it makes me nervous anytime I see a headline with like Maggie Smith or Judy
Right.
Dench, and I'm like, protect them.
I know, right. Oh yeah, I just started watching I just started watching Downton Abbey,
Oh,
and Maggie Smith, it like she steals the screen every time she's on.
right.
She's just fantastic.
I love her. That's so funny. We were just talking about Buffy
Yeah,
earlier.
right. Mixing Miss Marple with Buffy. Yeah, that's so true.
I love it.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll take anything with Buffy. That was my
Oh yeah,
absolute favorite for the longest time.
right. Hey, how you
They
doing,
CG
Adam?
Penny White like they do Carrie Fisher.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're not gonna
Yeah,
say they did a great job with Carrie Fisher,
yeah,
but
they didn't do a great job, but they did okay. I mean,
yeah.
it was entertaining at
I mean, I
least.
cried just because I was, and my daughter's like, "Are you okay? Why are you sad?" And I'm like, "'Cause like she really died. It's like a whole thing." And she's like, "But we didn't
Yeah.
know her. Why are we sad?" Because that's how I roll, man.
Right? Exactly. You gotta forgive us our celebrity relationships. Come on.
Right?
I miss
It
good
is.
snark and sarcasm. Yes, I do too. I need
All right,
it.
I can only hope to be that snarky and sarcastic when I am an old lady.
Right. Yeah. We were talking about Estelle Getty. Did you ever see the movie Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
Oh my god, I forgot about
That movie was amazing. Like I like Stallone, but I'm not like a mega fan. Some of his
yeah,
movies are good, some aren't. But she absolutely made that movie. That,
right?
yeah,
I had
that
forgotten about that movie. It's like one of those where it's like it's so camp and like it's just it is of its era and you just have to
yeah.
love it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just like the old Arnold movies. I'm a
Oh
sucker for
yeah.
like the old Arnold movies.
Twins and Commando and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Conan when he spoke zero English.
Right. Yeah. Terminator. Yeah. Yeah.
We have
All the goodies.
right. Gotta
Yeah.
introduce the kids to those at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've introduced my kids to some older stuff.
Mhm.
Like my daughter especially loves watching like older mysteries with me,
Oh yeah.
like the BBC productions for Miss Marple and Poirot, and uh, we've been watching the Granada televisions
Oh.
of Sherlock Holmes with
Oh,
Jeremy Grant.
fun.
Yeah, we started watching those together, and she's just absolutely gaga over it.
I
So
love it.
yeah.
We watched all the Star Wars movies in like in order
Hmm.
with our kids.
Yep.
And she really liked the older ones. Like I will say she liked the new ones a lot.
Hmm.
But
Oh
she's a
yeah,
10-year-old
totally.
girl. She was all into Ray. And I was go, it's okay.
Hmm.
She had a poster on her wall at one point, like a Ray poster.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But I was like, no, if we're gonna watch them, we're gonna watch all of them.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did that with my kids too, and they like the older ones as well,
Mm,
and they do like the newer ones. I thought Rogue One was the best of both worlds.
that one might be a favorite of mine.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, other than the original trilogy, that's probably my favorite Star Wars movie. Rogue One is awesome.
Probably. I have to agree. For one, I'm a sucker for Donnie Yen. If Donnie
Oh
Yen is in a
yeah,
movie, I am going to watch it.
yeah.
I have not seen the new John Wick yet,
I have not either,
but
but it's on my list. I wanted to see it in the
same.
theater, but I don't know if it's still in the theater or not.
I know it is by me because we took the kids to see Mario on Saturday,
Oh, okay,
which
yeah.
was amazing, by the way. It was so
I
much
heard it
fun.
was. Yeah.
But we saw that John Wick was still playing, and we were like, I really want to go see that. Obviously, not with the kids, but like, I think it'd
Yeah.
be fun to see in theaters. But like,
Yeah.
Donnie Yen is in my favorite movie series that no one's heard of, Ip Man.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
The Ip Man, Ip
I've
Man.
seen clips of it,
I
I haven't watched it, but yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are.
that's based on the guy that trained Bruce
Mhm.
Lee, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is so good. Well, like the first like 2, 3 are good, and then it starts kind of like, what y'all doing?
Right. Yeah.
But the first 2 especially. I keep hearing that. I
Yeah,
love the
I heard
first
it was the
3.
best of the series, and that's saying something because all 3 movies
So
so far were brilliant,
we have
and,
watched them multiple times.
yeah,
The
Rogue
Dirty Dozen.
One. Oh, yeah. See, that's a movie I still need to see. I never saw The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of there's a lot of classic 80s movies and stuff that I've never seen. I've never seen The
Mhm.
Godfather.
I have never watched The Godfather
I
either.
want to, but I've never seen it.
I know enough about it
Mhm.
to like know like the quotes and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
know it was a big running joke. My husband's family's Italian.
Okay.
Like they're all from Long Island before they moved down here. They're Italian. And like our big thing was my husband, when we found out we were having a boy, wanted an Italian name.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I was not down for it. Because everything I could think of, I was like, I'm not naming him anything that sounds remotely close to a Ninja Turtle.
Right?
He's like, Renaissance painters. I'm like, no, Ninja Turtles. Like, because that's where my head goes. If we're like Michelangelo or Leonardo, I'm like, no.
Right.
But we compromised, and I did find one I loved, and it's actually his name is Luca.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But
that's a
the
great
big
name.
joke was, I guess, the one of the guys in The Godfather that I think he gets killed or like put in the river with cement shoes is like Luca Brazzi or something. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
that's not where I got the name. I used to watch MasterChef, and the guy that won like season 2 or 3's name was Luca.
I
And I
love
liked it.
MasterChef. MasterChef is great.
Right? The guy that won one of the seasons, he was Italian and his name was Luca. And I
Okay.
was like, it stuck.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, Luke is a great name. It really is. Yeah.
So it was our compromise of, you can get your Italian name as long as I get my middle name, which was Jude.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Because I was like, I need a Beatles name. It was always my boy name, so we're compromising.
Nice.
Turtles just make me crave pizza.
Oh,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They had a preview for a new Ninja Turtles movie when I went to see Mario.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it The Way of the I,
Something. It was animated really. I actually liked the way it looked like it was animated. It was like really different,
yeah,
and it looked
it
really cool,
it's
actually.
like some like samurai crossover or something like that, I think.
Kinda. It looked
I've
really
been hearing
cool.
about it.
I was like, I might actually watch this.
Yeah. I was so excited when they brought out the Shredder's Revenge
Oh,
on the game consoles. I'm like, oh yeah. So I
yes.
sat there playing Shredder's Revenge on my PlayStation. I'm like,
Oh my god. Right?
talk
Gotta
about
love
nostalgia.
Right? I'm like, those are nostalgic games. I love them.
Yeah. The newer games are cool, but there's something to be said for the old 2D side scrollers or whatever, and the arcade games and
Yes.
Street
I miss
Fighter.
arcade games.
Yeah.
They were fun. I do love like the real pretty graphics and like all the new games. Like I
Hmm.
don't get to play as much as I used to.
Oh yeah, me either. I hardly
But
ever do.
we bought a PlayStation 5, and I think my husband's the only one that's played it so far. Like I have
Yeah.
watched movies on it.
Yeah, right.
But I'm waiting on 7 remastered part 2 to come out, and then
Yeah.
everything is out the window. TBR, everything. We're just gonna
Yep.
play Final Fantasy for like way longer than I probably should.
Yeah, I get that. I still have not finished part one,
So
but
I
but
enjoyed it.
yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time, like the original is, and
Yeah.
so I have to do it. I have to finish it.
I'm a sucker for all the Final Fantasy games. They were just like my intro
Mm-hmm.
to gaming because I remember finding 10-2 was actually the first one I
Mm-hmm.
ever played. And that's because I saw it and I was like fascinated because there were girls on the cover. And
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just remember thinking, because I was young and I remember thinking, like, I never see girls in video games. Like, it's just, it wasn't marketed
Yeah.
to girls at that, like, point in the early 2000s, late 90s or whenever it was. And
Yeah.
made my mom buy it for me. And then I went down the rabbit hole. I was like, there's more?
I played the original Final Fantasy game. Well, it was the original on Nintendo,
Oh, yeah.
but it was like the third in the series in Japan.
Yeah.
Like their numbers are, well, American numbers are all wonky on that series. It's
Right.
obviously it's Japan that has it right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, American numbers are all wonky on that. So
It is. And I always get confused because I'm like, some of them were like online games and I never played those.
yeah,
And like some of them have like multiple parts to them. And I'm like,
right.
which one was this?
So what do you think? Will we ever get the final Final Fantasy?
Right? Nah. As long as they're making money, nah.
Right.
Because I think what 7 remastered 2 and 16 are coming out. I think it's 16.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
I saw
numbers,
that. 16 looks pretty
it
rad.
does look cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, the
yeah,
PlayStation
basically.
5 is an expensive DVD player, that's for sure.
Pretty much. Streams
Uh,
Crunchyroll.
right? Yeah. But yeah, so many good games coming out. I want to play Jedi Outcast.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah. And of course the Force Unleashed just came out on the Switch now. So
Oh,
the
it's on the Switch
the
now?
remastered version, yeah.
My
And that was
kids each
that was
have
one of my
one.
favorite games.
I do
One
like that.
one
And
of
my
my
kids
favorite
have the
stories.
Switch, so well, actually
Ah.
we have 3. So I got them each. Well, we had gotten one, like the big
Uh-huh.
one that goes on the TV. And then of course that led to at some point it led to fighting because
Of course.
my turn, my turn, my turn. I got them each the light for Christmas.
Okay.
And I was like, these are yours. This is yours. This is yours. No fighting.
Right?
It kind of works.
It
But now the
kind of
big one's
is,
just mine.
right? Yeah.
Because it also worked out that now that one is in my room and it is mine.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I wish I had my own Switch. We only have one in the house so far. My daughter's got a job, so she's already
Nice.
pre-ordered the new uh the new Zelda
Oh,
game with the
yeah.
signature Switch,
That
whatever it
looks
is.
cool.
The
Yeah.
new Switch console with the new Zelda game. So yeah,
I love that. That
yeah,
looks fun. My daughter is still
it is.
playing through the Breath of the Wild, I think it is.
Yeah, hmm
Because we
yeah. I
played
still
through
haven't
it.
finished
And
that one either.
I haven't either. And now she's got it. And I'm like, I need to get that back.
Right? Yeah. Got to figure a way to get your own version of the game so you can play it, right?
Right. I'm like, can I just get the cartridge back? Because everyone has their own like little profile. So at least it's got multiple saves on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a real problem because I start games and then I never get back to them. Like Metroid Dread, the newest one on
Yeah.
the Switch. Absolutely loved it. Haven't been back to play it. I
I'm
think
bad about that too.
yeah, I think I got a little bit frustrated because those things that chase you are so flippin' hard to kill. You know, they're just I'm like, okay, I'm done
I'm
for a
over it.
while,
Yeah.
right? I made it
Yay.
really. Yay! Glad to see you here.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'm like, I start it and I'm partway through and like something comes up and then something else and then something else. And I'm like, should I start it over because it's been so long?
Right?
My husband's like, no, just play it from where you were at. But I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's been months. He's like, you're really gonna start it over?
You're like, yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
usually when I'm like, 40 hours into a Final Fantasy game. I'm just gonna
Hmm.
start it over.
Right. Yeah, it's a hard choice now because I love video games, but I also love reading, and usually I'm like, read or play a game. I think I'll read.
Right. That's
Yeah.
been winning more often, but and it's also easier because like I'm always on the go. Like by the
Hmm.
time after work, I'm like, okay, well I got to pick up the kids and I have to take them to guitar or take them to this or take them to
Right.
that. So like I'll sit in my car or whatever and just read like on my Kindle. It's nice
Nice.
and portable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where I do the majority of my reading. I do read physically as well, but most of it's on Kindle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like I love my physical books, but
Yeah.
I read probably more on my Kindle.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. And I've also got a rule, like unless I absolutely love the book, once I've read the physical book,
Hmm.
unless it's an absolute must have in my physical library, I'll just I'll trade it in and I'll eventually buy the book on ebook. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I do that a lot. I unhaul a lot.
Mhm.
'Cause I'm like, if I didn't love it, I don't have the space for like,
Yes.
it's just
That's totally.
okay, you
Mhm.
know? And if I read it on ebook and I really love it, I will buy the
Mhm.
physical copy. But if I'm just like, "It was good," like, it's just gonna stay there on my Kindle
Mhm.
forever instead of taking up room because space is limited.
Yeah, space is very limited, that's for sure. And yeah. And it's easier to, if you ever have to move, it's easier
Oh
to,
god, right.
yeah, move. It's easier to move your Kindle
Right.
than it is all your books.
Exactly. Like, I don't plan on moving, but oh my god, I could not imagine moving all of these. Like, I have to
Yeah.
move them because 'cause we're doing construction
Oh yeah,
on the new it's still not done.
still not done.
We started this in September
Yeah.
last year. It's still not
Yeah.
it's so close. We just need to put in the shelves.
Okay.
We've been waiting on his dad, who's a carpenter, to come over
Oh,
and help
okay.
us, but he got, like, busy with work, and then we had a death in the family on his
Oh,
side.
I'm
So,
sorry.
he was out of town for quite a while, and so now we're kind of getting back to having time. He's kinda catching up on work that he's missed from being out of town with his brother. So, we're like, "Alright, let's get it in," because once we get that done, I have to move everything in there, and
Hmm.
then half of my kids' stuff into this room because 'cause they're sharing a room right now, and I'm like, "I don't know how much longer they're gonna survive."
Right. Yeah. 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 You gotta start putting up cameras to make sure they don't kill each other.
Right? "He touched my stuff." "Dude, it's fine. Don't touch your stuff." Like, it's like a
Right. Yeah.
whole thing, like, he touched her record player the other day,
Oh no.
and she was, like, paranoid about him scratching it, and I'm like, "It's fine, but don't touch it." Like,
Right.
"He didn't scratch it, don't touch it. Stop fighting.
Right. Oh man. Yeah.
This
I,
is
I remember.
temporary."
I remember those days. Oh boy.
Right? One day they move out, right?
Yeah. One day they do. It's getting closer for me, I think.
Close.
Although I'm honestly not pushing for it too hard.
Uh,
I'm not anxious for them to leave. Yeah.
right, I joke about it, but honestly, I'd be like, "You can stay. You can stay. Just stay."
My son's away at college right now, so that's been
Okay.
tough. But he'll be home for summer break, so
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. The writing in games is getting really good. I remember my sister playing Plague Tale Requiem. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
the writing
yeah.
in games is really good. I mean, especially games like Elden Ring has this. ginormous backstory apparently, and
Right?
yeah. I started playing it, but I just didn't have the time to invest in it because it's just this massive game, and hard as yeah, hard.
Right. It sucks away all
I'll
your
say hell,
time.
hard as hell. We'll go with that
You'll
one.
go with it sucks away so much time, just gaming in general.
Hmm.
I used to do it so often too, like back when I didn't have sponsorbilities.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
an adult, like I used to play WoW
Oh, that's
way
cool.
back.
Hmm. Yeah,
And now I'm like, why did I pay $15 a month for this?
yeah,
Now I'm like
yeah.
too old and too cheap and don't have enough time. And I'm like, what expansion are they on now? Like, there's no way.
Right. Yeah, yeah, to get into it at this point would be yeah,
Right. Good
yeah.
memories.
Oh
Stay
yeah, I
memories.
bet. I never got into any of those games, and I kind of there's a part of me that wishes I had, but it kind of yeah.
That was the only one was that one that I got into for like a couple years.
Hmm. That's cool.
Ooh.
Okay. Are they getting really good voice actors like J.K. Simmons and Ron Perlman? Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like
And
the rise in popularity. It's like
Epic
it's not
Failure.
like just for us little nerdy kids anymore. Like it's very mainstream, which is kind of cool to see. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember even things like anime. I remember like when I was in like school, like you didn't say that you watched it. Like it wasn't cool. Like you were the nerd, but
Yeah,
like you didn't talk about it. You're like, no, I'm not. And now, like even my daughter's age and their friends, like it's the cool thing. And I'm like,
right.
the thing that we got picked on for, it's the cool thing now.
Yeah, anime is really it's really live right now, and
Yeah.
I never grew up watching any anime. Well, I take that back. When I was younger, I did watch Mobile Suit Gundam. You know, I
Oh,
watched
okay.
like the original Gundam,
Yeah.
and I watched Voltron and stuff like that. But I never got into any other anime per se. And now that my kids are older and they're into anime, I've watched a bunch with
Yeah.
them, and I absolutely love it. There's
I
some
watch
great
it
stuff out
with
there.
my daughter. We watch My Hero. We'll watch that
Okay,
with
yeah.
her. We're watching the English dub with her,
Mm-hmm.
but we've watched all of the subtitle ones ourselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we watch it all with subtitles, and it's great.
Mhm.
One that my son just randomly decided he wanted to watch one night was this it's called Gonkutsu,
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
and it's a sci-fi like cyberpunk retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, and like
What?
it is so good.
All right, I'm
So
adding
so
that to my
good.
list because that sounds
Yeah.
really cool.
It's a must watch it, and the art style is really wild. It takes a bit to get used to, but then once you're in a couple of episodes, it's like yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
it sounds. I love the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah.
Well, I love the movie.
Okay, yeah, I like the movie too. I have not read the books
Yeah,
yet.
just don't.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Don't.
Oh yeah, you tried it, right? And it was not.
It's
Yeah. Hmm.
I get it. It's so different though. But I like it's probably the one that I can say I like the movie more. They
Hmm.
changed the ending, and I think for the better.
Yeah.
They make it a good ending, not like a oh, okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. What was it? Guy Pearce? Is that the
Yeah.
one with Guy Pearce? Yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
really like that. I like Guy Pearce a lot, and
I do
I
too.
like
What's the other
whatever his
Jim
name. Jim
Caviezel.
Caviezel was good too. Yeah. Hmm.
I always
Yeah.
say he looks I always get him confused with Christian Bale for
Yeah.
some reason.
They
And
do
they're
look a little bit similar. Little
I'm like,
bit.
"Was it Christian?" No, it's not Christian Bale. I love him though. He's been
Yeah.
in
Oh,
some bangers.
yeah. Yeah, I love Christian Bale too. There's a new movie that either it just came out or it's coming out where he's like it's like It's in a gothic setting, and he's like a detective having to investigate a murder. It looks
Ooh,
really good, and I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but
I'll
uh,
have to look into that. I love
yeah,
some of his older stuff.
yeah, I do too. I do, and he was the perfect Batman, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, just those movies are the top tier
Mhm.
Batman for me. Although I still like some of the older Batman movies
Oh,
too.
yeah.
If we just get rid of the Clooney one, I think I'm good. You know, I'm
I mean, that's yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty
but
bad. But
yeah,
I do love
Christian
Clooney, just
Bale.
not that Clooney,
Yeah, I like Clooney in some stuff. Yeah, I like
but not that,
Clooney in some.
not
Yeah,
Batman.
just not. Yeah, not that.
I do love
Do,
Christian Bale in American Psycho, though.
okay. Yeah, I have the book. My son got it for me,
Oh, I haven't read
and
the
I haven't
book.
read it yet. But I saw part of the movie, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I want to watch it at some point,
Yeah,
but I was at a point where I'm like, this is a little bit too much for me right now. So, yeah,
like I'm not a big horror movie or horror reader either.
yeah,
Certain ones, like that one I really like, but it's more like it's a little gory, but it's more psychological. So like I'm
yeah.
okay with that. If it gets too, I'm out. I'm out.
Do you like Dracula at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just saw a trailer for a new movie called The Last Run of the Demeter,
Ooh.
or oh no, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it's focused on the boat that Dracula rode over on to
Ooh.
England, and what happens on the boat, and um, what's his name, the guy that plays uh, the guy that plays, oh, I can't think of his name. Oh, in Game of Thrones. Uh,
Oh,
um, he's in his 60s, big bushy beard.
yeah. Oh God,
Davos, the guy that plays Davos.
yeah. I was like, what was his
Uh,
name?
yeah, he's in it. He's one of the main characters in the movie, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it.
That sounds like it's gonna be good. I'll have to look that up. It's like I love like that kind of like horror stuff. But like if it gets too like if it's just like gory for the sake of it,
Hmm.
like I liked the first Saw movie, but like nothing after that.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Saw movies, and I don't plan on it.
And I think the
And
only reason I watched the first one was because of oh my God, what's his name? Carrie. I can never pronounce his last
Gary
name.
Ellis or Elwes or
Yeah.
whatever it is, yeah,
Elwit. Yeah, I can never.
I
He's
can never
like
pronounce it
the
either.
reason,
Yeah.
the only reason.
Yeah, and I think he's Welsh, so it's got to be some weird pronunciation that I'll
Yeah.
never get. So,
No, he will just always be Dread Pirate Roberts.
right. And it's so funny, we were talking about Christian Bale before I like heard him interviewed. I had never known he was Welsh
Right?
until he was interviewed, and I'm like, wait, he has an accent? What?
Right? And he does it so well, and you're like, wait, is that what is going on?
Yeah, crazy. Epic says Elden Ring is so good. Yeah, the lore was written by George R. R. Martin. Yep.
Oh, that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, he plays an hour and a day before bed. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I do want to get back and play it. I just haven't found the time. Um, it's fine for the
Yeah.
moon to take over. Yeah,
It's like the hit or miss. You're like, yeah, there's more stuff, but then it's like, just leave it as is, though.
yeah,
Exactly. It's like
yeah,
you're a nerd. Now
yeah.
being a nerd's
I got
cool.
bullied for being a nerd too. Yeah,
But I'm all for more people like discovering it. Just discover it and don't trash it.
exactly. I saw the trailer for the Dracula movie too. Yeah, it looks really good. And yeah, thank you, Liam Cunningham. That's who it was. I could not think of his name, but
Oh man,
yeah, he was good in the Mummy, in the third Mummy movie too. Yeah,
the mummy movies.
yeah. The second, and this is just my opinion, and it's probably unpopular. I did not like the Mummy Returns.
No?
I didn't like it, but I liked Tomb of the Dragon Emperor and I liked the original Mummy movie. If we could have just had it as a duology and left out the middle movie, I would be fine. But we had to kickstart The Rock's career, so I get it. Um,
That real bad CGI.
oh boy,
Real bad.
yeah, that was bad. And then I have not seen the new Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. I'm not sure I care to, but
Same.
maybe one of these days if I'm bored and there's nothing else to watch. But
The original, the first one is probably my favorite, but I did like the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
yeah,
I mean, I love Jelly.
mm-hmm.
But it's like, I didn't like the change when they changed Evie. And you're like, wait,
Oh
that's not the
yeah,
same
that was
person.
weird.
It's like they couldn't get Rachel Weisz back or something. I'm like, this
Mm-hmm.
is just not the same.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, Rachel Weisz made that movie, and it was just too bad that they couldn't get
I know.
her back. And
They need
yeah,
to like do like a reunion or something. Not like a reboot, but just not even like a sequel. Just like get them all together to do like an
right.
interview.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like they did for the Harry Potter cast. They got them all
Yeah.
together and reunion. Yeah, that would be great.
I want
And
to see that for more stuff because they did it for Friends too. Like they
yeah, they
brought
did
everybody back together.
and especially now that Brendan Fraser is coming back into the limelight, this would be a
Yes.
perfect time. I'm so happy to see him coming
Oh,
back.
me too. I am all for it.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him with all he was going through for so many years, and
Right?
so
I
yeah,
always wondered, like, what happened? Like, what happened? And then you find out and you're like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
but
The
I'm
last thing
here
I
for
had saw
him.
him in was a brief cameo in GI Joe,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and it was just like 2 seconds, and then he was gone, and that's the last I'd seen of him. And I'm like, hey, that was Brendan Fraser. Oh, never mind, he's
Oh,
gone.
wait, yeah. And just kidding.
The dog soldiers, yes, the dog
Oh,
soldiers are great. A knock to the moon.
yeah. Look,
Dog
I
soldiers
think
are
I watched
great.
that first movie so much as a kid.
Oh yeah, it's great.
John Hannah,
Oh
yes,
yeah, John Hannah's great. Yeah,
yes.
by today's standards, the CGI
Oh,
is bad.
yeah.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, it was
It
top
was,
tier. Yeah,
but looking back at The Rock as a scorpion dude now, you're like, oh,
yeah,
this didn't age well.
yeah. You look at some of that stuff, and it's like, yeah, he shouldn't move like that. Um,
I didn't.
no, I didn't even know. Oh wait,
I think I knew about it, but I don't think
yeah, I did know about it, but I didn't get to see it.
I didn't get to see it either. Those movies. I was just telling my husband that we need to like rewatch all of them because I have the extended editions of all of them.
Hmm.
He's like, I can't sit there that long and watch all of them in
So
one shot. And I was like, oh, we can
right. So
with the
apparently
DVD
there's
commentary. And he's like, you lost
oh
me. I'm
yeah, the
out.
old DVD commentary is the box set. You buy the big, yeah, it has
It's like a
all the
book.
commentary. Yeah, it's
I
great.
watched all of them with commentary
Mm-hmm.
more than
That's
once.
awesome. Oh, okay. I sorry, I thought you meant the dogs, like the dog soldiers in the Mummy movie. Um,
Ah,
I
there's
have not heard of that.
werewolves? What? Is it like B movie status? Because I love a good. We were just talking about
Oh
this the
yeah.
other day with one of my friends. I love a good like campy
Oh
B
yeah,
movie.
definitely. Yeah.
Those are like the things I watch alone because my husband's like, I'm out. I can't do this. You're like, this is too cheesy. I'm like, it's so good. It's
Right.
so bad that it's good.
Right, exactly.
If I can say a movie is so bad that it's good, I will probably enjoy it.
Yeah, for
It's like
sure.
old 80s ones, like Cry Baby with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Movie's so bad.
Speaking of reunions, so did you watch Good Omens on
No,
Amazon?
I haven't yet.
Oh, it's
I
so good.
know.
So there apparently there is a series that is I think it's on BritBox, and I have BritBox. I've been meaning to check it out,
Oh.
but apparently it's a series of conversations that that Martin Sheen uh, and David Tennant filmed together during lockdown,
Oh,
and I've been
oh
wanting to
man.
watch it because I've heard it's absolutely hilarious.
That
Um,
sounds fun. I love the two of them.
oh, they're so great together, and David Tennant was a perfect casting for Crowley, and well, and Martin Sheen
Yeah.
was great as a Aziraphale too. But I'll watch anything with David Tennant. I don't care
Right?
what it is. Have you seen Broadchurch? Yeah,
Yes.
Broadchurch. Oh, so good. Anyway, okay, I'll get off of that now. But
I love Tenet. So
yeah, yeah,
he is great. Like he is good in everything. Even like his like one-off role in like the Harry Potter movies. You're like, he just steals that scene. Like he steals the
right.
show. Anything he's in.
Yeah, yeah. If I was to pick a guy to have a bro crush on, it would be David Tennant.
Right?
Yeah, right. Totally. He's amazing.
He is great. And he's
So what
always
are
just
you?
in fun stuff.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah. The first thing I ever saw him in was Harry Potter and the.
It's,
It
I
wasn't the
think it's the
Goblet of Fire, was it?
yeah, I think it's
What?
Goblet of
Okay.
Fire was the first one he was
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. He played Barty Crouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was great. But
I
yeah,
remember that.
I've liked him in everything. Jessica Jones. I've enjoyed him in everything I saw.
Yes. He's a good villain.
He's a very good villain. Yes. Yeah. Um. So what are you reading right now?
So I'm kind of going. I'm trying to read Secret Project 2. I don't
Yeah.
remember the exact name. I
Yeah.
don't remember. It's like a long name. I'm probably like 25% into it, and I'm
Yeah.
actually having a fun time with it. It's very different. Have you read that one yet?
I did. I read it immediately as soon as it came out.
I'm having
I
fun, but
Yeah,
probably not going to be like a top favorite.
yeah. It was kind of it was definitely mid for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Like it's
was.
fun, I'm laughing, but like it's not pulling me like a normally a Sanderson would.
Yeah.
So I'm also reading got another one with them long ass names. A Song of Silver Flame Like Night. I think it's called. It was in one of my Illumicrate boxes. It's like
Oh.
another one of the like Chinese mythology
Oh
fantasies,
yeah.
and
Okay.
that is excellent so
That's
far.
cool.
So
Yeah,
that
I
so far
like
is
Asian
excellent.
mythology, so
I do too.
yeah, that would be cool.
I know it reminds me a lot of like some of the other ones I've read recently, like Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I really
Hmm.
liked, and like The Girl That Fell Beneath the Sea. So like
Hmm.
I have just been loving those. But I'm gonna finish Secret Project 2. Like
Yeah, yeah. It feels a lot like Hitchhiker's Guide
mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways, and Hitchhiker's Guide was fine, but it wasn't great for me. It didn't
Yeah.
blow me away. I need to go back and reread it because I wanted to finish the whole series, but there were just so many quotable moments, and I had the physical book, and I'm like, I was tabbing every other page because it had this great one liner on it, and I'm like, I need to get the Kindle version so I can just do highlights.
Right? That's what I've been doing. But like that's what I did with Tress. I read the Kindle
Mhm.
version first,
Oh
and it
yeah,
was just like every page is like different colors.
yeah. Tress is great, and it's yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But like this
I,
one, I'm just like, and I get what he was doing. Like he's like, it was just a fun thing, but I probably won't buy the actual physical
right.
edition of it. Like I did with Tress. I was like, I'm just gonna order because I didn't back the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So but I ordered it from Dragonsteel when they had like the extras, and I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
not gonna do that this time.
I backed the Kickstarter, but only for the ebooks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I committed a while ago to only doing ebooks for Sanderson just because his library is so large that it would take up
Right?
most of my bookshelf. So
It's so much.
yeah.
It's a
So
lot.
what's that?
It's a lot. There's
It
so
is.
many.
Yeah. Tennant's narrating is great too. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He reprised his role as Crowley in the new audio for
Oh,
Good
did
Omens.
he?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the Audible exclusive full cast production of Good Omens,
Oh,
and
nice.
he and Martin Sheen both reprised their roles.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it was cool.
I've
So
heard good things about The Black
I
Company.
have two. Yeah,
I haven't read it yet. I want to say, is it Alan who said it was really good? Might have been Alan.
I know a lot of people really love it. I'm pretty sure. I think Jimmy liked it pretty well, and
Hmm.
um, but yeah, I don't know. Malazin's another one I need to get back to.
I'm terrified of moss.
Book one is
Terrified.
really good. Uh, book two is not great in my personal opinion, but I stuck through it and finished
Yeah.
it, and I was so burned out by the end that I started Memories of Ice, and then I'm like, I can't do this right now. So I put Memories of Ice down, and I'll go back and reread it at some point. But
Right. I keep like, I don't know why. I don't even know what it's about, but I don't think anybody knows what it's about until like you read it.
yeah,
It's like, how do
there's
you
no,
give a synopsis of it?
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, part of me is like, I don't know if I have the brain cells to read this for one.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just one of those that's hard to describe. It really is.
Yeah. And then part
Yeah.
of me is like, do I want to commit to something that expansive right now?
Hmm.
Because like I tried getting into Wheel of Time.
Hmm.
I haven't made it past book 2.
Yep. Same here.
Okay. And
Yep.
I was like, do I even keep on?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
not.
temporarily DNF
Yes.
that one, and it might become a permanent DNF because the more I think about it, I'm like, I think I'm good.
Same. Well, like I've been talking to Angela at Literature Science Alliance.
Yeah.
She read all of them
Okay.
and she has pretty similar taste to me. And she was like, don't read it. She's like, you're gonna hate it. She's
She
like, you're
knows
not,
you.
yeah, she's like, you're not gonna like it. She's like, I didn't like it. She's like, the only reason I finished it was because it was a buddy read. I'm like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. And I feel bad because I have most of them back there in hardback because I
Yeah.
found them again at the used library book sale for like,
Nice.
75 cents a piece. And I'm like, I'm just going to get all the ones that they have and these
Hmm.
cool old school fantasy hardbacks. And now I'm like, I don't think they're moving with me to the new office.
Right.
I'm like, I feel bad, but somebody else will love them more than
Yeah.
I do. I think a lot of the love for that series comes from people that read it young and like it was their first experience with fantasy and it was like
Mhm.
this big epic world and it is cool. I want to watch the show,
Yeah.
which may be an unpopular opinion, but the show looks really cool just as itself.
Yeah.
Like not even taking the books into consideration. Looks like it
Yeah.
could be a fun show.
Yeah. I will say that it was having read the first two books. I'm like, wow, this is completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, not everything was, but it was
Yeah.
pretty different.
That's what
Um,
I keep hearing. And I'm like,
I don't know if
maybe
you
that's
ever
a good
watched the
thing.
Shannara Chronicles.
I didn't watch it. No.
Don't bother.
No. You're
It
not the first one to say that.
if I had to pick one between the Wheel of Time and the Shannara Chronicles, I would say watch Wheel of Time. Uh, the Shannara Chronicles was the only good thing about it was Manu Bennett, in my opinion. So he was a perfect
Right.
casting, but other than that, it was just not too great. But
Yeah, I've heard that. And I'm like,
yeah,
eh.
I didn't even remember until somebody clued me into it recently that was Austin Butler in the lead
Oh,
role. I didn't realize that was him, and
I
so
didn't either.
yeah. Yeah, he played Will Olmsford in that show, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't remember that, but now I know.
Okay, yeah. He's been in multiple things that I'm like, huh, forgot about him.
Yeah,
Forgot he was in that.
yeah. I haven't seen the Elvis movie yet, but
I haven't either.
I'm not
I
really.
want
I don't really want to, honestly.
I keep going back and forth. Like I've heard it so good. My niece really liked it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll watch it. But like I'm also not a huge Elvis fan. Like
yeah,
I like Elvis music, but I'm
yeah.
not like
Mhm.
it's not like, oh, Elvis. Like I'm not that
Right.
hype on it.
I grew up listening to Elvis. My mom was a huge fan, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like it, but not enough to watch a lot of movies about him or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Now if it was like the Beatles, maybe. Like
maybe.
I grew up, my mom was a big Beatles
Yeah.
fan, so
If they made a biopic of Louis Armstrong, I would totally go
oh
see
that would
that
be
one.
fun.
I'm a huge Louis Armstrong fan. I really liked Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic.
Oh yeah,
That
I haven't
that
watched
was
that yet, but
it was
that
really
looked
good.
really good.
Yeah.
I love Elton John though.
Yeah, I like Elton John a lot too. I'm a huge fan of Queen, but I still have not seen Bohemian Rhapsody.
Same.
Yeah.
But I love him too. Was it Remy Malik?
Yeah, Remy Malek's great.
I
Yeah.
just there was a whole bunch going on with that movie that I'm like, I don't know because it was originally Sacha Baron Cohen
Oh,
that was
really?
supposed to play Freddie Mercury, and I was like, that
Oh.
is perfect casting.
Yeah, that would have been.
And he had like creative differences and they
Okay.
parted ways because it's like it was something like he said that it wasn't being like true enough and it was like creative differences is all they really stated. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, Sacha Baron. I love Sacha Baron Cohen. Like Borat
Mhm.
aside, like his weird movies aside, like I like him.
There have been rumors for a while now that he's going to be Mephisto in the MCU.
That would be,
We'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah,
That I could see it.
yeah. I could totally see it too.
It's always
But
weird. He's very eccentric. Like
yeah,
he's in
I
some of my
haven't
favorite
actually seen him
movies.
in anything. So
Sweeney, he's great in Sweeney Todd.
yeah. Okay.
He's not a huge part in Sweeney Todd,
Yeah.
but he's great. And
Okay.
then Ricky Bobby. If we're watching dumb movies, that is like a top go to. Like I just need to laugh at dumbness. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch Talladega Nights.
Okay. Cool. I'm not. I don't like Will Ferrell except when I do. Except when I
Same.
do. There's a few I loved him in Bewitched. I loved him in
Yeah,
Elf.
I
Elf
did love
he was
Elf.
great in Elf, but just in general, I'm not a fan.
I'm not either. And actually, it was funny because I was talking to my friend Mike about this the other day. I tend to like Will Ferrell movies when what's his face is in it with him. John C. Riley.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's something about the like Step Brothers. I was like, the ones that I like are like Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. Huh. They have one thing in common. John C. Riley's with them.
Okay,
I'm like,
nice.
that makes sense. And really it's John C. Riley, not even Will Ferrell. So I'm like, all my favorite parts are not necessarily his parts.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
That's
most of
good.
his movies are like, just not.
Yeah,
But those two.
yeah. Now that sounds like they're a good pair together.
Start so many. Yeah, same.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same here, and it never ends. I'm actually going to start reading uh, Alloy of Law next month.
I'm so excited. It's such a hit or miss, but
We'll see if I like it.
I loved Era too. And I didn't hate Alloy of Law. Alloy of Law was the worst in the series,
Okay.
but I loved Era too. But
Okay.
I also went into it like pre-booktube.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
And I
since it's
started
been
it
so.
right after Hero of Ages. Like,
Oh wow, yeah, you jumped right in. Yeah. Yeah, I think BookTube can skew things a little bit. Yeah.
I think so.
So we'll see if I like it. I know a lot of people love it and some people that don't, and
It's
but
fun. It's very different, but it's just fun.
yeah.
And I think a lot of it hangs on if you like Wayne. If you end up liking
Okay.
Wayne and his weird sense of humor,
Yeah.
which I don't hate Wayne.
That's good. That helps. Well, I'll let you know as soon as I start it what I
Yes.
think. And um, Manu Bennett was the only great thing. John Rhys Davies.
Oh,
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Rhys Davies.
They cast John Rhys Davies in a major character role, and they absolutely wasted that actor.
Yeah.
His part was so wasted, and yeah,
I had forgot that he was in that.
yeah. And I love John Rhys Davies. I've loved him in so many of the things I've seen him in. I mean, I'll always love his character in Indiana Jones, and I'm so excited that I I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, and I
The
even
Crystal
liked the
Skull.
Crystal Skull,
I
even
didn't
though it
hate it.
wasn't the greatest. I still enjoyed it,
I didn't
and
hate
I'm
it
so
either.
excited for this new movie. I can't wait.
I didn't hate the Crystal Skull. I had fun. I was like, is it great? No, but is it fun?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and the ending totally made sense with it being a
Hmm.
Spielberg production. It's like,
Yeah.
this is Spielberg. Come on, it makes total sense that he would do that in there. But
Gotta love him.
does BookTube change how you view certain books? Ah, good question.
I think so to an extent.
Hmm.
I don't know if like doing booktube really changes your opinion on it, but I feel like hearing so many different opinions, like
Hmm.
consuming more booktube content and like seeing, the same people say different things about, the same book and you're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, okay." And like you can like start to see other people's points and you're like, "Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I can see that. Oh, I
Hmm.
didn't notice that plot hole. I was, because
Hmm.
I usually don't notice a lot of those things because I'm like, I'm just reading to have a good time. Like, we're just in it
Hmm.
for the fun. Like, if there's a pothole, whatever. Unless it's like glaringly, obviously bad.
Right.
But then you start listening to other people's like reviews and stuff, and you're like, okay, I can see that. And I think it can also elevate your reading experience, like to
Yeah.
read with a bunch of other people, to like have a group of people you're all reading it with and pass those opinions back and forth, but it can also like kind of bring it down if the whole group hates it and you're like, "Oh, well, am I the only like I guess I can see your point." But
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. That actually, yeah, what you say makes a lot of sense. Um, it does influence me as far as whether or not whether or not I am going to read certain books.
mhm,
Like there are some books that I said for the longest time I just was not going to read. And
yeah.
then one day I'm like, okay, it sounds like I have to pick up Assassin's Apprentice and try out Robin Hobb, and I'm so glad I did.
Okay, good.
But then there's others I'm like, I wish I hadn't read that book. Like Rage of Dragons was way overhyped in my opinion,
Oh,
because
thank
after I read it, I'm like, yeah, no, I think that's a few hours of my life I'll never get back. And
you give in to the hype because I do the same
mhm,
thing. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, this doesn't like I'll try it. Everyone loves it. Like I gotta, and then I'm like, why?
yeah,
Why? Like I also didn't love Rage of Dragons. I only read the first one and I was like,
yeah. I
eh.
haven't read the second one either. Yeah.
I was like, it was okay. It wasn't like mind blowing. It
Mhm.
wasn't like absolutely garbage, but it wasn't like this epitome that everybody says it is. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
it's okay.
And I'm considering trying out Red Rising.
I read the first one
So
and it was good. I haven't read the
yeah,
rest of them yet, but I
yeah,
liked the first one. Was it like, oh my God? It was kind of like the Hunger Games in space,
right. Yeah.
but I had fun. So I
Yeah.
will continue on with that one.
That's another one that gets a lot of hype on BookTube, and it kind of makes you wonder, okay, is it worth the hype to try and read it? But I might read it eventually. So
I thought it was fun. It's very Hunger Games in space. Like that
Mhm.
is it's very tropey. The first one is I haven't read the rest of them. I heard it like improves like
Mhm.
on its like base trope. Like it's got all the tropes.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, so it's gonna do that and that and that and that. But
Right.
I heard it gets better. It's like it's kind of weird. There were parts of it that I was like, what? Why? Weird, don't like this, but it was good enough to continue eventually.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I'll probably give it a shot at some point. I remember watching videos about Dreams of the Dying. Okay, I don't know if the name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
I haven't read that either, but I love Leanne. Even though her and I don't agree on everything, like a lot of things, like reading taste wise, I just love watching her rip things apart, man. It's just a good time
That's
for some
Leanne's library,
reason.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got some whoppers.
And I just love it. Like she hates a lot of the books that I love, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. More opinions out there, the better, right?
Right?
Mhm.
But it's still she's fun to watch though. Just because her rants get like top tier.
Yeah.
And she can tear it apart and make it make complete sense. Like it's not just like a I hated it. It's she's breaking it down why the writing didn't work for her and like all right.
Mhm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Dreams of the Dying does have a pretty cover.
I'll have to, you know what? I
I
should look
haven't
that
read it, but
up.
it did have a really pretty cover.
Dreams of the Dying. It's gonna bug me now if I don't.
But I'm also a sucker for like wanting to read everything that Petrick reviews and
Oh yeah,
loves
Patrick is
because
amazing. He is
he
such a
can sell ice to like an Eskimo. Like it's like the way he describes things. I'm like, okay, sold.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that is a pretty cool cover. At first I was looking at it, I'm like, wait, is that Scarecrow? No.
Right? But it does
My
have
bad.
like a really cool cover. You look it
Yeah,
up and it's like Petrick's the first thing you see
yeah.
if you click images.
It's like that for several books. Like when you first
Yeah.
look it up, Petrick is right at the top,
Yeah.
and he's killing it with the SEO algorithms.
That's what I was
Apparently,
gonna say. His SEO is on point.
yeah. I don't know how he does it, but
Right?
yeah,
I'm like, are we SEO optimizing? Like, I'm gonna need to look into that. I'm gonna pull your tags,
yeah.
run you on SEMrush. Like, what's going on? Hi, I work in digital marketing.
Hey, that's great. So you can give us all the pointers, right?
All the more, yeah. Everything changes way too often. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all just faking it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's especially true of the YouTube algorithm. It's crazy. It changes all the time, and yeah,
Yes.
it was when
It's not when that works.
oh yeah.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Well, it's like she reviewed Babel and hated it.
Oh, okay.
I loved it.
Yeah.
She hated it. But it's hard to disagree with some of her points. And I'm like, but I just had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I don't know if you've ever checked out Jose's Amazing Worlds,
Mm-mm.
but he's like that. He has a like he hates on some really popular books, but you watch his stuff and you're like, well, yeah, I can't disagree with that necessarily.
Right?
You make a valid point. I just
Right?
liked it better than you did. So,
Right?
but
It's like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out because I like a good. I like seeing opinions that differ from mine
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
do
oh,
too.
okay, that's how those people thought about it. Like, it's better. It's more fun than like living in a vacuum of all the same opinions all the time.
Yeah. So what's a book that's been around for years that you only just recently read?
Oh God, so many. Because I spent like 7, 8 years like not reading anything
Mm-hmm.
between time when I was like 23 and had my daughter until I was probably 30. I didn't really read much. So I kind of was catching back up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I finally read Akatar. Wouldn't
Oh,
recommend, but
okay.
I read it. That's another one of those like, fine, I'll read it.
Court of Thorns and Roses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried her other series too, Throne of Glass. I think I'm just not a Sarah J. Maas fan. I tried.
Yeah. I have no desire to read Sarah J. Maas, honestly.
It
Yeah.
wasn't bad. It was just not like good. Like it was just one of those where I'm meh.
Yeah. I
And
know
then
Alan had to read it for a punishment read or
that was
something like
the
that.
best.
Yeah.
Alan reading it was better than reading it.
Right.
And what was the other one? I mean, there's quite a few classics I haven't read that I want to read,
Mm-hmm.
but I just keep putting them off because I'm like, eh, they're classics. Like I've never actually read Pride and Prejudice.
Yep, neither have I.
I've seen the movie, Keira Knightley.
Okay. Yeah,
10
I've
out of
never
10
seen that
recommend the
either.
movie. But and like Little Women, I never read Little Women. I watched the movie.
I have seen that movie, but I never read the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, so yeah, a lot of the classics. I'm just like, I haven't read them. Maybe I should. Probably not.
I borrowed Peter Pan from the
Ah,
library today. I'm reading it for the first time and
I
it's weird, but
I
it's
want to
fun.
read it. I've never read it either, and I think I might have a copy. I
Yeah.
think my daughter has a copy of it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm liking it so far. I got thinking that I should check it out. Everybody says it's a must read, and I know Murphy Napier. It's like one of her absolute all time favorite books, and
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot, and then of course I saw the recent trailer for Peter Pan and Wendy
Yeah.
on Disney Plus. I'm like, that looks like it might be fun, and so
Right? I wanna read was it The Child Thief
Oh
is the
yeah,
one
I
I
have that. I
am
want to read
more
that too.
interested in reading.
Yes, I want to read The Child Thief as
I
well.
wanna read that. It
Mhm.
sounds really I like a dark Peter Pan,
Yeah,
so
yeah, me
that
too.
appeals to me, that dark Peter Pan.
Hmm. It
Although
does.
I've read a couple retellings that I was just like, "Eh, no." Like,
Yeah.
what was it? It was like I was so excited because it was Peter Pan retelling. Not that I've read the original, but I love like the Disney and I love like all the movies, Finding Neverland and
Hmm.
forget
Oh
what it
yeah,
was
Finding
called, but
Neverland's
it
great.
was Lost in the Neverwoods.
Hmm. Okay.
I did not like it
Hmm.
at all. It was like a modern, contemporary fantasy Peter Pan and Wendy, and it was just not good. A lot
Yeah.
of people loved it. I was not one of those people.
Oh,
I
that's too
wanted
bad.
to.
Yeah,
I did
I
not. It
hear
was
you.
weird.
Sometimes you just run across one of those retellings that isn't very good.
I was like, man, I get it, but like,
Hmm.
no. Peter Pan is surprisingly dark. And yeah,
It is.
junk food books. Yeah, same. Like, you just have fun with them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
either vibe with them or you don't. Like, I have been loving the Shadowhunter books.
Oh yeah.
And that is like my junk food. Like, those are just fun, like popcorn books. Like, you just don't take them seriously and you just read them.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I've heard those are really good.
I didn't like the first series as much.
Mm.
Like, so the Mortal Instruments, I think it was.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
didn't love those. They did some stuff I didn't like, and I think a lot of people didn't like. And she kind
Okay.
of backtracked on it, and changed a lot of it,
Okay.
and then it got better. So like I
Okay.
didn't like the original like 3, and then it's like she made 3 more in the Mortal Instruments,
Mm-hmm.
but she released them in tandem with a second series, which took place like hundreds of years beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
The Clockwork books. They can't not the Dark Artifices. I don't know. They all have weird names, but it's like the Clockwork ones, and it's like you read the Clockwork, then the Mortal Instruments one, then the Clockwork one, then the Mortal Instruments one. So it's like you read it in publication order.
Right.
And that made it fun because you're reading like it's in the past and it's in the future. And then you see them start to connect, and like I'm like, oh, okay, I'm having fun now.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I've heard those. I've heard a lot of people like those. I've just
Oh
never
yeah. The
read them. And,
Infernal Devices, that's what it is, the second series. They're
oh,
so
okay.
much better. So much better. It's like Victorian England set,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so much better. It's just like addictingly like junk food books. Like
Okay.
Peter Pan is dark.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can tell that already for sure. The idea of fairy dust being needed to fly was in a later edition. I can see that.
I can see that too.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
I can see that too, as knowing children with umbrellas trying to jump off of things and float with them.
Right?
So we all know those kids that tried to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
I was gonna say they probably did that with Mary Poppins too.
You are not Mary Poppins. You are now broken leg.
Right. Yeah.
I remember thinking, yeah, we all did dumb stuff as kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's interesting the things that really take off and you only find out later that they were based on books. Like
Mhm.
I only found out a few years ago that Mary Poppins was actually based on a book series.
Same. I had no
And
idea.
yeah,
I'm just like,
not
Julie
sure I
Andrews?
plan to read it, but if I ever
Yeah,
do,
I'd probably just gonna let it live in my nostalgia.
exactly. I didn't see the sequel movie that they made. I heard it was good
Mm-mm.
though, but
I have too. I haven't watched it either. I probably will at some point,
yeah,
but I'm like, there's such something about the original, the classic, the
yeah.
Julie Andrews. That's another protect her at all costs, Julie Andrews.
Oh yeah, yeah. Julie Andrews is great. Yeah, yeah. She's fantastic. Hey there, Austin. What's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, yeah. Good times.
There's so many. And who's the other one? I was just watching something with her the other day. She was in the Halloween movies.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking
Jamie.
about. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Love her.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she is really good. I really liked her in Knives Out.
Yeah, I still need to watch that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I
Actually,
still
both of the Knives Out movies are really, really good.
I wanna just, like, watch them, like, back to back.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, and I liked the second movie better in some ways than the first, but they
Oh.
each have their things that are good and things that are kind of
Yeah,
off.
they
But,
have an awesome looking cast.
oh yeah.
I was like, I love everyone that's in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I mean, Daniel Craig and like
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans is great.
He's like
Yeah,
top tier Chris.
yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely mine as well. Yeah,
Like him and Pine.
yeah,
Evans and Pine. Like we're top tier Chris's.
Yeah. Chris Pine is great too. Chris Pratt, not so much, but
Right.
he's okay. Don't get me wrong. I
He's
mean,
fine. He's just not. Yeah, he's not like
yeah,
the top of the Chris pyramid.
right. Yeah,
Although I will say, despite all the people hating the casting of him as Mario, the movie was great.
yeah. I heard that. I heard that. Yeah,
I had so much. I was like, I don't know who enjoyed it more, like my husband and I or the kids. Because
yeah.
like they loved it, but like we're catching all the references where they like
Yes.
play the theme song from the old TV show. And you're
Hmm.
like, what? An old
Yeah,
terrible TV show. But like just all
yeah,
the Easter egg references. I was like, I dig this.
yeah. That's cool. I definitely need to see it. Yeah, my daughter went with a friend to see that, and also to see the D&D movie, which I still
Oh,
haven't
I
seen
want to
either.
see
So
that.
I want to see it too. Yeah,
I want to see that. I think it would be okay to take my kids because we were
yeah,
looking at it and I'm like, I think this is kid friendly enough.
probably so. Yeah, Helen Mirren's another
Oh,
one. The Red
yeah.
movies are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen them, Jesse, but the Red movies are
Yes.
absolutely amazing.
I love anything she's into.
Yeah, Helen Mirren is really, really great. Yeah, she's. Um, I wanted to see what was that movie she was in. She was in a movie where she played Queen Victoria recently. I think I can't remember the name of it, but
Yeah, I love her. She's in so much.
she is. Yeah.
Ooh, back to school.
Oh yeah, back to
It's
school.
tough.
Oh, my heart goes out to you there.
Same.
Woo!
I don't miss it
So many
sometimes.
ways, some books.
They
Yes.
are, and you don't even realize it. And you're like, oh wait.
I was thinking there's a show that not a lot of people have talked about that's coming up. Have you read any Bernard Cornwell, Jesse?
Mm-mm.
He wrote the Saxon series that The Last Kingdom is based on. Uh,
Okay. I
he
don't think.
wrote the Warlord Chronicles, the Arthurian retelling.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're making they're in production right now for an adaptation of the Warlord Chronicles, which I'm super
Oh,
excited about because those are great books.
that'll
I
be
just hope they
cool.
do it right.
Right? It's always like, please just do it well.
I like some of the casting I'm seeing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see. I'm gonna have to look
but
that up. Good
yeah,
casting can mean so much.
it
Have a
can.
good cast.
Yes. Yeah, he did the Sharp series too. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I have not watched the Last Kingdom series, although I've heard good things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
Yeah. There's
it's
so
really,
much that I
really good.
haven't read just from being like not reading for so long. And then when I was
Yeah,
younger, like I didn't really read much fantasy. Like I was a weird kid and I read really weird books
yeah.
for my age range. Like I'm pretty sure I read The Sea Wolf by Jack London no less than 20 times
Oh
in
wow.
like middle school.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Because why not?
Right.
We're gonna read about a guy getting in a whale ship. Like
Yeah.
I was pretty obsessed with Jack London books for a while. I thought I
That's
was gonna be
cool.
in. I thought I was gonna run the Iditarod at one point in my life.
Yeah.
I live in Florida. Who sled dogs? I was obsessed. That and like Call of the Wild, White Fang. Like I just. And then
That's
I
cool.
discovered fantasy. Like I was probably like 11 or 12
Okay.
when I was fine. Like, and then I kind of started in late. Like I read like the Harry Potter books, and that's kind of it
Yeah.
until I got like I think out of high school.
Was that the first fantasy series that you read?
Hmm
Harry Potter? Yeah. Yeah.
It was my intro, and then I just kind of stopped reading a lot because like high school, like I think I just read whatever they made us read and didn't want to
Yeah.
read anything else at that point because I'm like, I don't know why I have to read the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah.
Like, please don't
Yeah.
make me read the Scarlet Letter. It was terrible.
That's a tough one, I'm sure. I've not read it, but
I
whew,
did like A Tale of Two Cities, though.
yeah.
I like Dickens.
Yeah. So I read A Christmas Carol for the first time last year.
Oh,
And I did read A Tale of Two Cities in college and did not like it.
yeah.
It was just I'm not really big on like historical fiction
Mm-hmm.
or like fiction set in historical settings, although
Yeah.
there's a few exceptions, of
Mm-hmm.
course. But
I don't think I would like Dickens if I read it now. I
yeah,
think I liked it when I was like a pretentious teenager.
yeah,
Like trying to be like, I like this.
right.
But then I'm looking back, like, did I really like this? Because like I vividly just remember one scene, and that's
Hmm.
like the keg of like wine spilling all over the ground. And that's literally the scene I remember.
From A Tale of Two Cities. Yeah.
There was
Though,
like a cask of wine all over the ground. It was like, it represents blood. I'm pretty sure I spark notes my way through high school too, though.
okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. The only thing that I remember from A Tale of Two Cities is the guy who kept an iron pan by the side of his
Oh,
chair to correct his
yeah.
wife with when she got out of line. I'm like, what?
Forgot about that.
That's the only thing I remember, and it's horrible that that's what I
That's
remember. It's like,
terrible.
oh my god, don't hit your wife, period. But don't hit your wife with that, especially. It's like,
Right? With like like a cast iron skillet. Like, okay, Rapunzel.
oh. Yeah.
So
Kendall's
I
little,
am excited for the Percy
yeah.
Jackson show.
I
I
have
have
not
not read
finished
the
the
books.
series. I
I
read the first
have.
two books, and I'm going to go back and reread them this year before the show comes out. So that's on my to-do list. But
They're on mine too, like my immediate future ones. I want to read them with my daughter and then watch the
mhm.
show. But unpopular opinion, probably. I liked the movies. I didn't know they were books when I started watching the movies.
Okay,
I just liked the movies.
I liked the first movie. I didn't care for the second one, but I
Yeah,
liked the first one.
I don't really remember the second one. I like Logan Lerman. Still love Logan Lerman. Even though he hasn't been in very much. What he has been in has been really good.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that movie? He did a TV show that has not yet gotten a second season that I'm real salty about. I can't remember
Oh,
what it's
really?
called. It's on Prime. And did it have Willem Dafoe? Not Willem Dafoe. It had Al Pacino in it and Logan Lerman, and it was set in the 70s. And they were hunting down Nazis who had like integrated into the US after World War II was over
Oh, I think I know the
in
one
New
you're talking
York.
about. I can't remember the name of it, but I think I know the one you're talking about.
And it had this ending of season 1 that was like, what is going on? And like, we have not gotten a season 2 yet. And I'm like, I'm gonna need
I hate
this.
it when they do that to us. Just give us one season and then they drop it. Uh,
Hunters. That's what it's
the
called.
Hunter. Yes, that's right. I remember. I remember that.
How are
They
you
did
getting?
that with Archive 81 on Netflix too. I don't know if you saw
Oh,
that one.
I didn't.
That show was so good, and then it got canceled, and I'm like, what? No.
Wait, we got us. There is a season 2. Yo, I'm lying.
Oh, okay.
It just obviously wasn't marketed at all. Oh, it
Apparently,
just
yeah.
came out in like this year. It's been like 3 years since season 1.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
was like
why.
it was like that for Carnival Row too. Like we finally got our
Mhm.
final season of Carnival Row, and I'm like, oh, I loved it.
Right? I'm like, just finish your seasons. Like, I get that shows get canceled and stuff, but it's like, just finish something.
Right?
because there's another one on Netflix that did that. Mind Hunters, which
Okay, yeah, I have.
similarly enough, it's like true crime
Mhm.
inspired,
Okay.
but it's fiction. So it's actually based on John Douglas, who was the first criminal profiler to work in
Right.
the FBI.
Mhm.
And I have actually read his books, which are
Oh,
called
wow.
they're fantastic. I wanted to be in the FBI at one point in my life, apparently.
Yeah.
I have master's in legal studies because of it and do not work in law. But
Yeah.
it was so good. And it's like loosely based on that. So it's kind of like Criminal Minds, but more actually realistic during
Yes.
like I think it's set in like the 60s or 70s. Like you get to see like it's like fake people in cases, but then they're like, here's Ed Kemper, real serial killer, Charles Manson. And like they throw in like real life serial killers that he really interviewed.
Mhm.
And you're like, pick and choose. It's really cool how they mix it, but then it's like the whole cast is like on hiatus or something. It's got I forget the guy's name, but he's the guy that plays King George in Hamilton.
Okay.
Plays the main character, and he's also the voice of Kristoff in Frozen.
Okay.
He's
Um,
Jessi in Glee.
okay.
God, what is his name? So
Yeah,
many shows.
yeah, so many shows that just go by the wayside, and
They
yeah.
do,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
this is another one that Jenny brought up, Alphas. Did you ever see that one?
yeah,
It's a great show. And yeah, it only got 2 seasons, I think.
yeah. And they always end stuff like you said, like ending on a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Like at least Firefly got a movie, but I'm still salty.
Right? Yep,
At
exactly.
least they gave us a Firefly movie, but like,
Yeah, and now Disney's
mm-hmm.
rebooting Firefly too, so
Wait, they are?
yeah, they picked up the rights to it, and they're
I don't know how I feel about
uh
that.
and I know the first thing they're going to eliminate is the companions.
Yeah,
Yep. I can see it all now. We don't need
man.
hookers in our television.
But like, I need Nathan Fillion.
What's that?
But it's like you can't top it. Like the original.
Right,
Like
you
just bring me
can't.
like Nathan
Exactly.
Fillion. And like,
Yeah.
my daughter actually really likes the new Matilda that they
Yeah,
rebooted.
I didn't see Matilda. I did see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know if I watched James and the
Oh,
Giant
James and
Peach
the
or
Giant
not.
Peach. That
I
shit
think
tripped me out as a kid.
I think I
Because
may have seen that one. I did see the BFG.
James and the Giant Peach is like weird claymation, like
Hmm.
nightmare fuel from the late 90s.
Right. Yeah, and actually now that I think about it, I think I did see that one. Yeah.
Nightmare fuel. I liked the original Matilda. They redid it and it's like a musical now. And then I
Interesting.
like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like the
Yeah.
first
I
movie.
like the first one better. Yeah.
The one with Johnny Depp's just not my cup of tea.
It's a Johnny Depp movie. It's not a that's what it boils
It's
down
a Johnny
to.
Depp movie.
It's just
Yes.
yeah, it's classic Depp, just weird, off the wall, creepy vibes.
Yeah. And he does that so
Does
well, but
does it well, yeah.
just leave my Willy Wonka alone.
Exactly. Dirt Gently. Okay, I hadn't heard.
I haven't seen
I
that.
haven't watched it, but I have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was that show called? I think. Oh god, what show? Which one? Mind Hunters? There's Mind Hunters is the one that was on Netflix. It's based on the detective on John Douglas with the guy that plays King George in Hamilton. And then Hunters is the one that's on Amazon Prime with Logan Lerman and Al Pacino and the Nazis.
mhm.
Wild ending. There were some uncomfortable scenes though. Just
Okay.
if you watch it, there's some uncomfortable scenes, but it flashes back to the Holocaust, so like it's uncomfortable scenes.
Yeah. Nothing really phases me, so I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably enjoy it.
Oh, I think the reason it's like uncomfortable because it's like things like this really happened. Like when
Hmm.
it's like just purely fiction, it doesn't really bother me. But when I'm like, man, this is like stuff that happened. Which is probably why the one chapter in the Poppy War bothered me more than things normally do.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't read the Poppy War books yet,
I
but
love them.
yeah.
I have some problems with the last book. Still gave it 5 stars. I got some problems with it. I don't care. It was great.
Cool. Yeah,
But
I'll
it's good
probably check
series.
it out at some point.
But there's one chapter that is literally ripped from World War II,
Oh, wow.
from like atrocities that actually happened and were actually worse in real life than she depicted.
Oh, wow.
Um, and it was difficult to read knowing that this stuff happened, I think.
Yeah.
Real life bothers me more than fiction.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, give me a different world any day. Yeah.
Right? Like I'm good. Grimdark, dark, I'm fine.
Yeah,
But
we
like,
already know our world is messed up. We don't need
right.
reminders, but
Yeah, I don't need even like we were talking about earlier with like horror movies. Like
Mhm.
I'm down for some Freddy and Jason like monsters kind of thing. There's some that I've tried to watch that I
Mhm.
never made it through. Like what is it? The Strangers.
Hmm.
I'm not down with home invasion
Oh,
horror. Like I think I made it like 15 minutes into that movie. Was out.
yeah.
Hostel. I think about the same, like 15 minutes, and I was like, bye.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen either of those. I've heard of Hostel. I haven't heard of Strangers, but I've heard of
It's got
Hostel.
Liv Tyler in it, who I
Hmm.
love.
Yeah, Liv Tyler's great.
But it's literally just like these people rent a cabin in the woods and people break in. That's the plot.
Wow, yeah,
I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Not my Airbnb. Like,
right? Yeah.
I have not read the Firefly books. Are they good? I've
I
looked
have
at them a
not
few
read them
times.
either. And she said I still want a book origin story.
Yeah.
I'm not. Are we talking about Willy
About
Wonka there,
Firefly?
or
Oh,
about
Willy
Willy?
Wonka.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. But Firefly, I have not read the books, but I have read the author that wrote the books, or at least some of them, James
Okay.
Lovegrove. I read the Cthulhu Case books,
Ooh.
which is a mashup of Sherlock Holmes and the Cthulhu mythos, and it's
What?
so good.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, the first one is Sherlock Holmes and the Shadwell Shadows, and it was so and he nailed Sherlock Holmes.
Really?
Like it feels like you're reading Conan Doyle, but with Cthulhu, and
That
it's so
sounds
wild.
fun.
Yeah, but yeah,
I have to check that out.
I think he wrote all the Firefly books, or he wrote most of them. I'm not sure, but
I'll have to check that out because that sounds fun.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Speaking of, and I won't say why, this reminded me. Have you read The Great Cities Duology by N.K. Jemisin?
I'm starting it next month.
I'm about to read the second one, but the first one,
Yeah.
top favorite. Love it. I love Jemisin though,
Oh
but
yeah, I love Jemison too.
it's so different than her other books. Like
Yeah,
it's urban fantasy as opposed it's but I think you're gonna love it. Just
yeah.
based on conversations, like man, it's so good. I need to
Oh
finish
yeah,
it, but
yeah. I'm excited to start it, and I love the Broken Earth trilogy.
same.
I want to read her Inheritance
I haven't read that
trilogy
one
as
yet.
well.
I
And
want to.
what is it? The the
Oh,
blood
Dream Blood.
dream blood duology. Yeah, there we go. I want to
I
read
read
that
that.
one. I
I
want to
liked
read
it.
everything she's written because I just absolutely love her, and she's an amazing human being as well,
Yes.
which which I won't
It brings it up a
necessarily.
level.
I won't necessarily not read an author if they're not really a very nice. If they're a horrible human being, there's a good chance I probably won't. But if
Hmm.
they're just, if they're just,
I'm there with you.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But but yeah,
But
the fact
she's
that she's such an awesome human being makes me want to read her books even more.
right.
So yeah,
I really liked the Dreamblood duology. I didn't like it as much as Broken Earth.
okay, yeah,
But it's kind of hard to top Broken Earth in my book. So
yeah.
if a book makes me cry from page one, like there's no way it's not going to be a favorite.
Oh, so this is a tissue box read.
Yeah, yeah, Broken Earth was
Oh, Broken Earth. Yeah,
Broken Earth made me
it
cry
was
on
for me
page
too.
one.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
as a parent, it's why.
As a parent, exactly. Yes,
And
I remember grabbing for the
mm,
tissues on that one. Yeah.
and I think also just like the position of my kids were like the exact age of the kids in the book. Like the young boy and an older girl.
Yeah.
And my son was he was little at the time, and I was reading and he was like sleeping in bed with us because he had crawled in bed,
Mhm.
so I'm reading it. So I've got this like tiny little blonde head boy just like laying here while I'm starting reading this. I'm like, this is a bad idea.
Right. Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, there was some stuff in there that like really just ripped
Yeah.
my heart out, and I'm like,
Right?
yeah.
But oh, it's so good. But yeah, Dreamblood was really good. I liked the first book better than the second one,
Hmm.
but there was a good duology.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm definitely looking forward to reading hers.
Hmm.
I say recently, but have been listening to a podcast a lot. True. Okay, true crime podcast. Yeah.
I am a true crime junkie.
You're a junkie. Oh.
I listen to like true crime stuff like while I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll just like put it on like it's background noise. Like I watch like Bailey Sarian and
Mm-hmm.
like Dark Hit. Like I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was a legal studies major. So like I like piecing together like the case and stuff like that. Like I find
Mm-hmm.
that part fascinating.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Always been yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. No.
And I love Johnny Depp movies, and I like
Oh
bad
yeah.
Johnny
I
Depp
do too.
movies.
Oh yeah. Totally.
I like bad movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad movies are often good movies. Yeah.
Bad movies and like camp movies. Like
Hmm.
what was it? Dogma.
Dogma's great.
God, I
Yeah.
love Dogma.
Yeah. And that was my first introduction to Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes, mine too.
Yeah. I
I
love
saw
that
that movie
movie.
so many times. I was going to a private Christian school at the time when I discovered that movie.
Oh. Oh yeah, Christians hated that movie.
Best. I loved it. They
Yeah.
are actually coming to a convention here close to me.
Oh wow.
And like Kevin Smith and like Jay Muse, and then like a bunch of other people. It's called Spookala, and it's in Tampa
Oh nice.
or Spookala. I don't know how it's actually pronounced, but it's in
Yeah.
November, and I think I'm gonna go.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna take my daughter. And for one, I want to do they have a photo op together where it's like Kevin Smith and Jay Muse.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I'm like, I need to get a Buddy Christ t-shirt
Hmm.
and do it. Because
Exactly.
I love it. But also, the lead singer of my daughter's favorite band is going to be there, which is Ice Nine Kills.
Okay.
So my daughter likes metal, as do I.
Yeah.
My daughter's a little
Awesome.
metalhead,
Yeah.
and Ice Nine Kills is her favorite band, and she's mad that I'm going to see them in concert in July and not taking her.
Hmm.
Because I'm like, I'm not taking a 10-year-old to a standing room, like general admission only concert
Hmm.
where the threat of mosh pits and stuff flying off stage is like a real thing.
Right.
Because falling in reverse is going to be there too. And I know the lead singer like sometimes throws like his mic stand off the stage. And I'm like, I'm just not ready for mosh pits with 10-year-olds.
Right.
So I'm going to surprise her and take her with me because, like, I'm like, in a convention setting, we'll do
Mm-hmm.
the photo op and the autograph.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great opportunity.
Almost
Hi,
4 a.m.
Jenny.
Oh
Thanks for
man.
joining us. Yeah, that's late there. Yeah.
Right?
Following
You
Gene
can't.
Wilder is a tall order. It really is. Yeah, Gene Wilder was great.
He had some gems.
Hey, welcome, welcome. Mosh pits.
Yes.
Yeah,
I will also be avoiding the mosh pit because I think I'm too old for that now, but
yeah. I'm
back in the
definitely
day,
cool with the mosh pits.
back in the day, high elbows, high knees.
I never got to experience them, but oh
I
well.
Yeah, I'm too old for it now. I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh my god, I would be, like, in the hospital at this point."
right.
Like, I'm just gonna stand off to the side and listen.
Hey, we were talking about Sherlock Holmes earlier. Do you enjoy Sherlock Holmes?
I do.
So you need to check out this podcast. It's called Moriarty,
Oh.
and it basically it flips the Sherlock Holmes mythos on its head, where
Ooh.
Moriarty is falsely accused and Sherlock
Oh.
Holmes is the villain.
That sounds awesome. I will
And
definitely have to check that out.
and Dominic Monaghan does the voice for Moriarty.
Oh, I love him.
Great, love Dominic,
I
and
love
yeah,
him. He was
it's
the
great.
only
It's
reason I
like,
watched Lost.
mm-hmm.
The only reason I started watching Lost,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I never finished it.
Lost is one of my favorite shows. I've watched it 3 times at least,
Oh, yeah.
and he was great. We were all okay. Spoilers, everyone. If you don't
Spoilers
want
for
to know this,
Lost.
plug
Yeah.
your ears. But when Charlie died, oh my God,
I was
we were bawling. Just,
devastated.
oh,
I wanted to stop. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this show. Like, I
right,
finished it, but I was done at that
yeah.
point.
But then the ending brought it all back,
Yeah.
and they got their happy ending,
Finally, right?
right? And I liked the ending of Lost. I thought it was great. A
Yeah.
lot of people hated on
A
it,
lot
but
of people hate it.
yeah, but it's good
Hey, at
stuff.
least it had an ending.
Yeah, at least it had an ending. Yeah, some of these shows we don't get endings for, and it's like, well,
Right? There's been so many I've watched that are like one season
mhm.
and what was it? It was like Flash Forward, I think it was called. It had like one season and I think two people watched it, myself included.
Yes, I remember that one.
It's like there was like a blip and it's like everything flash forward. And then it's like season 2, it like happened. It like happens again at the end of season 1, and you're like, what happens? And it gets canceled.
Right,
Like, okay, I want to know what happens.
right, exactly. I was really worried for a while. It took Netflix forever to renew The Sandman.
Oh, I
I was
know.
really worried for a while there. I'm like, no, but they finally. I
They
hope they
did.
get more because yeah, because that's a story that needs to be told, and they did a pretty good job.
Did they? I didn't watch it just because like I've had such bad experience with like especially Netflix like just getting canceled and I'm like I'm just going to wait and see if
Yeah,
if it goes on.
yeah, it was great. They did a really great job. A lot of the casting was spot on.
Oh,
Um,
nice. The cat from what
yeah,
I've seen, it looks really good.
yeah. Have you read the graphic novels?
I haven't. I
Yeah,
want to.
they're so good. Yeah, you definitely should check those out.
It looks really good. I'm
Mhm.
excited. I'm gonna have to check it out because I've been wanting to get more like into gaming,
Yeah,
and I picked up some of his books recently, but I haven't like gotten to them yet. So I have like this whole stack that I'm like, one day,
yeah,
one day. Like
yeah.
Coraline is up there.
Oh yeah, I love Coraline. So did you read the book, or it's top of your list to read?
It's top of my list to read because I really love the animated movie.
Oh yeah, the animated movie is great, and I mean you could literally read Coraline in an afternoon.
Yeah, it's
It's
really short.
it's that short, and it's just as good. Well, of course, the movie was
Of
based
course.
on the book, so it's yeah.
I know my
But,
daughter loved it too, so I'm like, "Okay." Like, she loved the movie.
hmm yeah, and cats. I mean,
Right, like, you
you know,
can't.
I'll watch anything with cats once,
Right? Except for cats.
except for yeah, I don't really have a desire to watch cats.
Mm-mm. I would have seen it
Yeah,
on Broadway,
yeah,
but, not not in weird CGI
yeah. That was
weirdness.
just.
That was just that was
I
nightmare
mean, I
fuel.
I could tell by watching the trailer. I'm like, yeah, this does not look
I
good.
know, it did not look good. Like, and I like, The Labyrinth, and that mm-mm, not watching Cat. Like, it just looks
Mhm.
so bad.
Yeah, it does. So are you talking the Labyrinth like David Bowie
Oh,
Labyrinth?
yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
So that's our,
Love
if
that
I can
movie.
find the dress, we're doing the, couple's Halloween costume this year.
Oh,
But
hubby's gonna be the
I've
Goblin
been
King?
yeah, my husband's he's tall and skinny. I'm like, "It's perfect."
Yeah, that's cool,
I was like, "All I need is a big '80s ball gown." So I've been, like,
right?
searching the thrift stores. I'm like, "There is something that I can DIY here, like an old wedding dress that I
Sure.
can rip apart and, like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's I'm like,
Dance
I just
Magic
need
is
it."
still one of
Yes.
the best movie songs ever, and
I have it on
yeah.
my playlist that
Mm,
it's my very random musical taste playlist that's got, like, everything on it.
yeah,
You never know what you're gonna get. I just, like, plug it into the car and we're like, "We're gonna see."
right,
Like, what are we getting? Are we getting, like, '90s boy bands? Are we getting metal, or are we getting, like, Hank Jr.? Like, nobody knows.
right.
It's the roulette wheel of chance.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, The Labyrinth was great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All of
so
those.
many good '80s movies like, Legend. Did you ever
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I finally talked my kids into watching that with me one time, and they enjoyed it for the most part. They were still kinda like, "Eh," but they
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah. Dark
We
Crystal.
yes. I plan on watching The Never Ending Story with the kids probably this weekend because we had talked about
Mhm.
it, and I'm like, "This is next up on your list of
Yep.
movies."
Yeah, I watched that with my kids back in the day. So much fun. And it was funny, it was only a couple of years ago or so that my daughter and I watched, The Dark Crystal.
Oh,
And I kid
yeah.
you not, for 2 weeks, we would go around the house, and whenever we'd see each other in the house, we would be like, with
Yes.
the whole Chamberlain.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was great.
It is great. I love all those old movies, and it's fun reintroducing them, like, to your kids. I made my kids
Mhm.
watch what did we watch? The Last Unicorn.
Oh, wow, yeah, I haven't seen that in years.
I
I've
love that
never read the
movie. I
book.
loved it. I read the book actually recently. I didn't even know it was a book for, like,
Yeah.
years. It's another one. It's like, I loved the cartoon. I have a signed copy of
Oh,
my
wow.
friend met the author at, like, an
Mhm.
event, and she got him to sign the DVD box and, like, mailed
Wow,
it to me from Texas.
that's cool,
So I'm like, "Okay, now I need to read the book." And I
right?
did, and the it was good. I think I
Yeah,
liked the movie more,
yeah,
but the book was it was very pretty spot on.
that's cool.
Like, there
That's
was,
good
like,
to know.
line for line spot on moments, but I think it's because the one actor what is his name? Uh, I know it was Jeff Bridges, but who was the guy that plays he's in Lord of the Rings too,
Oh,
as Saruman.
yeah, Christopher Lee.
Yes. So he does the voice of the king, And he was a
Okay.
huge fan of the book. And he was like, no, like, we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He was very insistent on like using line for line dialogue.
Oh yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, when you get guys like that that are committed to the story, like he was that way in Lord of the Rings as well. In fact,
Yeah.
there were a couple of times that they pissed him off
I heard about
when
that.
when they were trying to make changes, and there was one time that he walked off the set. I'm pretty sure because of because they weren't wanting to stay true to the story and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah. It's wild. It's like
I
just
I
do
I
it.
I would not want to have been there when they told him that they were going to kill him off,
Right.
because he's still alive at the end of the books.
Right? Like, this ain't gonna go well.
Yeah, but at least the extended cuts did the books justice. I feel like the extended cuts are the only way to watch it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I love the extended ones. Like, you have to watch them and all their like million-year glory
Yes, absolutely.
with the commentary.
With the commentary, yes, absolutely. Well, we're at the
Yeah.
2 hour mark. Um, I know we could both keep going probably for an hour more, but I want to respect your time and everyone else's time that's been watching us as well.
Right. I should probably try to
Um,
get some sleep at some point.
right? He was that way with Dracula.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh yeah,
I he
that's funny. He refused to
he was
say
top
anything.
tier.
Yeah, he was. Have you ever heard him read The Raven?
Yes.
Oh, that's the only way to listen to The Raven is Christopher Lee.
Mm-hmm. It is. I
Um,
agree. I love Poe. I have like a whole book of like Poe stories,
I do
like the
too.
Barnes and Noble edition one.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I love Poe as well.
So that's funny thing we were talking about, like the Cassandra Clare books, and the
hmm
one that I just read, which is like the third series, I think, in the
hmm
Shadowhunters books. There was Poe references, and they were super subtle, like in the beginning.
hmm
Like, not to spoil anything, but like I picked up on it super early, and I was buddy reading it with some friends, and they're like, "What do you mean? What did you pick up on?" And I like then we get to the end, they're like, "Oh, you knew the poem." Yeah. Because
Right.
every the title of every chapter was like a line from a Poe poem.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I was like,
That's
this
cool.
means something. It
Yeah,
didn't mean much, but it was still fun. it didn't
that's
it didn't go as
cool.
deep as I wanted it to go.
Right. Well,
She's like,
cool.
hi. Hi, bye.
Bye bye. Yep. Good
Right.
to see you, Theo. So everybody that's watching, thank you so much. Uh, I'm just so grateful that Jessi could join me today for
Oh,
this.
thank you.
And make sure to check out her links in the description below. And until next time, I hope you guys read more books. See you later.
Yeah.